Dr. Bofi? Dr. Bofi, she's here, she's present. Mr. Castillo? Mr. Castillo? Not present. Dr. Davis?
Here.
Dr. Davis is present. Ms. Ellis? Ms. Ellis is here, she's present. Mr. Garvey?
Here.
Mr. Garvey is present. Ms. Holloway?
Here.
Ms. Holloway is present. Mr. Mellarine?
Here.
Mr. Mellarine is present. Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Morris is present. Ms. Orange Jones?
Present.
Ms. Orange Jones is present. Mr. Rock?
Present.
Mr. Rock is present. Ms. Dolce? Ms. Dolce is not present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. What is our first item, please?
Your consent agenda is ready for approval, adding item 5.1.
So moved. Ron, can you give a second on that?
Second.
That's the consent agenda. Do we have any questions from DESI members? Hearing none, do we have any questions from the comment cards for this item? No. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
On page 55, item 4.1, consideration of an update report regarding school systems and schools in non-compliance with the 70% instructional requirement. Recommendation is to receive the report.
We get a recommendation to receive. Ms. Holloway, second by Mr. Miller. Do we have, will this be a spoken report?
It's in your packet.
Okay. Do we have any questions from DESI members about the report? Hearing none, do we have any comment cards? Hearing none, do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
On page 63, item 4.2, consideration of an update regarding the fiscal year 2023-2024 minimum foundation program formula proposal. Recommendation is to receive.
Okay, we have a motion to receive Mr. Miller. We have a second. Ms. Holloway, thank you.
Mr. Garvey, I may actually need a motion to approve here. We had to have this particular item in the board docs before session was completed, and so this relates to the differentiated compensation element. There were $25 million approved for our differentiated compensation model that the board developed as part of the original MFP proposal. But what we need to do here is we need to go ahead and set for purposes of the differentiated payout, the critical shortage areas. And we have used information from the compensation study that we just have completed to identify for this particular year for the differentiated compensation on the critical shortage areas, secondary mathematics, secondary science, and special ed, K-12. So those would be the three critical shortage areas we would like to approve for the differentiated compensation. Keep in mind for differentiated compensation on high need schools, that list is the listing of schools that are 85% or greater economically disadvantaged. But we did feel like we needed, for the purpose of this board and for these payments that will be provided to teachers, to go ahead and set these three critical shortage areas.
Okay, Mr. Miller?
I'll make the motion.
Thanks for the motion to approve. Ms. Holloway, motion to approve. Does the staff have the information they need to capture that motion? Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Davis.
So the identifying those shortage areas came from a survey or a study?
No, we did we just wrapped up a comprehensive study that is around compensation for the entire state. And they did survey and interviews of HR directors and various individuals throughout the state. And whenever we look at these areas, I don't have the study in front of me, but these are the three areas that show the most significant need in terms of being the hardest to staff.
And so I have just two more questions. One, well, I guess three. One, when will we see the study? Two, what was the response rate for the survey on the HR? And then three, are we confident that if we were looking at these shortages by region of the state, that they would still be the same? Like I know, for instance, in the Orleans Jefferson Parish area, they might have a critical shortage of EL teachers. And so I just wanted, if we're doing a state level view, are we missing regional variation in need? needs that could be addressed through the differentiated compensation?
So tomorrow you will see this study because it's part of our recruitment retention report that we are providing as part of the shared meeting with Board of Regents. But these three areas are the most significant areas of need across the state.
Okay, I may ask questions tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, we have a comment card from Brant Osborne, St. Tammany Federation of Teachers.
Good afternoon, board members. Brent Osborne, President of St. Tammany Federation of Teachers and School Employees. I just want to report the profound dissatisfaction of my constituents, the teachers and school employees of St. Tammany Parish and across the state for the failure of any portion of the MFP, including the part with permanent raises. They're devastating. They're devastating. I think it's going to hurt people. So I just wanted to share that. I have mass confusion about what happened on that last day in the legislature. I don't know anybody can shed light on that. What happened with this MFP? I know SCR 2 did not get brought to the floor. I don't know how that happens. Was this part of it even funded as far as the differential stipends? And if so, how much will each district get? Hopefully this report will shed light on that. But I did want to share that this process was exhausting and it hurt our teachers and school employees. And I don't know that there's any comeback for it this year, but I hope some solution or solace can be given. Thank you.
So at the end of the day, I mean, this action of the legislature is going to put additional dollars in the pockets of our teachers, which is a good thing. And I know that there's also a desire across this board, and we have been formally requested by the legislature to roll these dollars into next year's MFP. Your MFP proposal that was unanimously approved here at this board made it through the entire process at the Senate. It made it through the committees on the House side, but ultimately on the last day of the legislature, a decision was made with leadership on the House side to not call it up for a vote on the MFP. What did happen is the 2,000, 1,000 were placed into the budget as line items, as well as a $25 million pool for differentiated compensation. So the 2,000, 1,000 are in there. They're in the form of a stipend. There's also a request from the legislature formally. I saw this passed on the Senate side in the last 2 minutes of session for us to roll that into the MFP for next year. And this has happened previously. I want to say 13, 14, somewhere around there. It was funded outside MFP and then it rolled into the MFP for the next year.
Okay, any other cards? It's out on the card. Okay, do we have any other questions from Bessie members? Hearing none, do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
On page 125, item 5.2, consideration of the fiscal dialogues as a result of the fiscal risk assessment process for 2020-2021. Recommendation is to receive.
We get a motion to receive. Mr. Miller, motion. Ms. Holloway, second. Okay, do we have any comment cards on this? Any questions from Bessie members? Hearing none, do we have any objections to the motion? No objections, motion carries. Next item.
On page 130, item 5.3, consideration of a report from Education Finance staff concerning Bessie authorized charter school budgets and expenditure reports, including irregularities or concerns. Recommendation is to receive.
Okay, can we get a motion to receive? Dr. Davis? Thank you. Mr. Milliman, second. Do we have any questions from Bessie members? Do we have any cards on this item? Okay. Do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
On page 135, item 5.4, consideration of LDOE contracts greater than $50,000. Recommendation is to approve.
Can I get a motion to approve? Mr. Rock, can I get a second? Ms. Ellis? Thank you. What's that? Oh, we have some recusals. Are we aware of who needs to recuse?
Mr. Garvey?
Yes, ma'am.
I need to recuse on item 5.4.
Okay, Ms. Bovee, on that item?
And
Ms. Davis?
I need to recuse on item 5.4 for the VOA regions contracts and item 5.5 on the VOA allocation.
Okay. Noting those recusals, we have no comment cards. Do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
On page 175, item 5.5, consideration of federal and state grants and allocations to LEAs, type 2 charters, type 5 charters, approved non-public schools, and community-based organizations, competitive and other. Recommendation is to approve.
Okay, can we get a motion to Dr. Davis? Can we get a second on that? Ms. Holloway? Thank you. Do we have any comment cards? No.
Miss-
Yes.
Mr. Garvey, I have a recusal on 5.5 too.
Can we note that recusal? Okay. Ms. Davis?
I think I have to take back my motion because I recused myself on the wrong thing. Okay, we're good. I recused myself on 5.5. This is not Kevin's fault, it's mine.
Mr. Garvey.
So are we on 5.5? So she doesn't
She
need
said it
to
in
take back her motion.
But we knew she
They
did
used
five.
Ashley, just the motion.
Okay, great, thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just briefly, you will see a number of flowout of dollars for early care and education. And also, I wanted to make note that in terms of line item in the state budget, there was an additional commitment for early care and education, which marks the most significant state commitment for early care and education in our state's history. So I wanted to acknowledge that. And then also, in this item, you will see the Stronger Connections grant. And so this is where we have worked, are working to allocate funding for single points of entry across the state. And we are awarding over $20 million of federal funding to schools across the state as part of the Stronger Connections grant. And so we're excited about doing this work and helping our schools to become even safer places for the students and the faculty. And I just want to call that out, particularly because we have our second annual statewide safety conference on Thursday.
Very good, very good. Okay. With that in mind, do we have any questions from Bessie members? Hearing none, do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
On page 228, item 6.1, consideration of HE funding cycle activities, approval of HE statewide programs for fiscal year 2023-2024. Recommendation is to approve.
Okay, can we get a motion to approve? Ms. Holloway, can we get a second? Mr. Miller, thank you. Do we have any comment cards on this? Do we have any questions from Bessie members? Okay, do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
On page 239, item 7.1, consideration of legislative reports. Recommendation is to receive the reports as outlined.
Okay, can we get a motion to receive? Ms. Rock, second. Mr. Morris, do we have any comments or comment cards? Seeing none, do we have any questions from Bessie members? Hearing none, do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
On page 329, item 7.2, consideration of an update report regarding the 2023 regular legislative session. The recommendation is to receive the report. The final bill tracker document was uploaded to Board Docs yesterday, and a handout on that has been distributed.
Okay, can we get a motion? Dr. Davis, can we get a second on that? Mr. Miller, thank you. Do we have any comments?
Yeah, I'd like to just acknowledge that I feel like we had a strong legislative session, priority legislation that the department brought to this board. I believe all made it through the process, and so we're excited about some of that work, whether it's financial literacy or teacher certification bills, teacher pipeline bills, recess. A number of things made it through the process. We're thankful for. We're thankful again that our teachers are going to see additional dollars next year. Surely, yes, we wanted to see that in a permanent form, but we had
notice to roll that in to the MFP for next year. We saw historic commitments to early care, so a lot of good work there. Also wanted to acknowledge the officers here for the time that they gave to Ethan and myself to get feedback on the various bills that were working their way through the process. And that time commitment is appreciated, and sometimes we had to take calls and communicate quickly on items, so I appreciate their availability. And I want to thank Ethan Melanson too, just for all of his work, working with staff on all of the items for the session, camping out over the Capitol, keeping you all informed. And then the commitment from staff during legislative session is just tremendous, from preparing for every single bill that is education related, building the financial notes, testifying when appropriate, and then working alongside Mr. Lonsall to make sure we had a good session. So just want to open it up for Ethan to give any remarks that he has now that he's recovered somewhat, and also if anyone has any questions for Ethan or myself, we're glad to take them.
Thank you, Dr. Brumley. Ethan Lawson, Department of Education. So I haven't fully recovered yet. I haven't had a day off yet, so after Bessie, I'll make sure to do that. But I wanted to thank you all for your trust in me to be able to go represent you across the street at the Capitol. It was a very productive session. While it did kind of get a little chaotic towards the end, to say the least, we did get a lot of things across the finish line, and things are still being signed into law by the governor. But our entire package, the LDOE Bessie package, did make it across the finish line. Some of them were amended, but mostly the entire intent of what we brought over survived the process. So what you'll see moving forward is in August, I will bring you our implementation plan of action. So that'll be every bill that was passed, our resolution that was passed, and when we plan on taking the policy changes to be put into Bessie policy. So that'll come in August, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions from Bessie members? Okay, seeing none, do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item.
That concludes your agenda.